This is what happens when you become impatient and you want to start early. And people are probably still having a cig outside or grabbing a coffee or grabbing a drink.
Yeah.
And
you're never impatient, are you?
no. Hey, James has joined us. How are you doing, James? Go on, James. Don't be shy.
So, CVN, we are recording.
We're recording. Fantastic. Great. Thanks, mate. How's your days been, guys? I mean, come on. Speak up. No?
I've just been busy at work here, just trying to get through the work day. How about you guys? Busy, I assume.
Yeah, you could say so. Trying to get a lot of deals going and speaking to influencers and dealing with updates and facing up changes and all sorts of weird and wonderful things, but that's all good.
So the usual day for you guys.
Yeah, just another day in the office. Charlie Supreme. I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome.
Thank you. Great.
Mikey boy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Always good when you join us, mate. Always good.
Hey, I try to be here anytime I can.
Our friend Brian's also joined us. Welcome, mate.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Very well. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well.
Good evening. We're with 12 at the moment, yeah.
Mr. Kirby. So, I'm not sure if G's going to be joining us. He's probably stuck in surgery. I've not heard from him from a couple of hours.
Bye, but probably as soon as he's free, he will join if we're still busy.
Yeah, I mean, he did say he's going to try, but, you know, being a doctor and being in surgery, I think health comes first, right? People who need attention. Yeah, if he can join us, he'll obviously join us. If not, not to worry. He's been on previous live video chats. He's the doctor with a smile. Most certainly a better smile than mine.
Joining.
Tony's just joined us. Welcome, Tony.
Yeah, he did.
So for those that don't know, Tony's from a group called Laser Eyes. I'd encourage you guys to check it out as well. They helped save people from scams. And they've most certainly saved me thousands of dollars prior to starting, obviously, Lambottery. I used to go to them first and is it safe to invest in? Is it safe to invest in? And usually I don't listen. And when I don't listen, I get kicked up the arse. And then Tony or Steve would normally tell them, I told you so. So, yeah, by all means, pop into their channel, guys. Give them some support. They've got some amazing tools. Great roadmap coming up as well. If you want a safe place with a safe investment, they are definitely something to look out at. So please do have a look at them. So we've got a hell of a lot of new faces joining us that I've not seen before, which is great. Thanks for joining us. I think the objective of tonight is just to give you guys an update of where we are. Be a little bit brutally honest with you. I think we're a little bit disappointed. Well, the team is that we're not actually where we are yet, but I think there may have been a little bit of confusion. So as you all know, we've got the whitelist, which is officially ended. You can no longer apply for whitelist, which is great. Or maybe not. But those that have entered, congratulations. Obviously, some of you have already passed, paid in the BNB. And you guys have till tomorrow, 5 p.m. to pay your BNB in. What we've decided is because I think the fact that this is not the traditional DX sale where you would have that comfort of a third independent party looking after your cash. And people are a bit skeptical about you setting an address, a random address, BNB. Let me just explain one more time why. I am not keen on DXL to use DXL for several reasons. Number one, they have extortionate fees, right? So you pay them, I think, if we were to send them, let's say or let's just make this easy numbers. If we were to send them 1 million tokens, we would have to send them 1,200,000 tokens because they have their percentage fee on top of that. Over and above that, they charge you a listing fee, and they charge you a final value fee as well of whatever's raised. Now, the problem with DXL is that if we send them the tokens, they will, you got to deposit, you create a listing, you then deposit your tokens into the DXL platform. And once you've deposited your tokens, you basically are locked. Your token's sent, and that's it. If you reach the soft cap, the pre-sale goes ahead. And if you don't reach the soft cap, then obviously the investors, i.e. you guys, have the opportunity of getting your money back. However, if it passes the soft cap and it goes into now approaching the hard cap territory, the pre-sale is guaranteed to go live. Now, let's assume that there was a pre-sale and they had a soft cap of 1,000 BNB, and the guys raised 501. So they hit their soft cap target, but they were 499 BNB away from their hard cap target. What that actually means is that 499 BNB worth of tokens is lost. It gets burnt. It's just gone, which is crap because that can have a detrimental effect to any project going live. So that's one reason why I don't like, over and above the extortionate fees, because there's obviously final value fees as well. Some other reasons I'm happy to discuss. We have an immensely complex contract. It's 4 contracts in total. We've got a contract that deals with the hourly lottery. There's one for the daily, there's one for the weekly, and then there's obviously the main Lambottery contract as well. All 4 are interacting and talking with each other. Now, if you guys have been in any DXLs, you will understand the frustrations that devs have when they're trying to finalize, because 99% of the time, there are always problems. And I'm pretty confident that if we were to go onto DXL, we are going to hit those roadblocks and bottlenecks where it might actually end up that being a complete failure and we're not able to finalize even 48 hours after the pre-sale, meaning all the efforts from a marketing perspective is going to go to waste. That's my biggest fear. Simply because if a simple contract sometimes can't finalize, what makes me think, or us think, that we've got 4 contracts in total, all interacting with each other, how are we going to get that to finalize with the known issues of DXL? So that's another big risk and concern I've got. Then there's also the risk about iPhone users able to access the platform easily with their recent updates to MetaMask and Trust Wallet. It's just it's a pain in the ass, and a lot of the times that guys that particularly on the iPhone platform can't even access it and get access to that. I have heard that there have been improvements to that, but I can't verify that. So that's one issue. You've got another one of the bots. Yeah, great for us as project owners. Bots can jump on board and they can buy up some of the BNB, but that often leaves you guys as investors the opportunity not to get in as a result of that. And then that over and above is, I just don't like DXL. They're a pain in the ass. Their support is crap. And that's why I personally don't want to go with DXL as an option. However, it is a community token. You guys do have the say. Although we run it, it's your token, right? It's not mine. It's not Sven's. It's not G's. It's your token. Together as a community, we can make this work. And from my perspective, if we can make it work, it's going to be with your help. So if you guys want to go with the DXL, even though I've raised those concerns, I'll be 100% behind that and we'll support that. We do have to change the strategy if that's the final decision, though. So here's what I'm proposing. We have a target, as you know, of 500 BNB, and that's to set a solid floor, a ground floor, good for liquidity, good for growth, good for strength, and all the other bells and whistles. Now, if we can by tomorrow, which is Wednesday, by 5 p.m. cutoff time, at least reach 250, my preference would be we leave it as we've been doing. We continue pushing the marketing, and we will make a difference. We will make sure that we raise the final 250 via really aggressive marketing. If we don't hit the 250 by tomorrow at 5 p.m., when this pre-sale stroke whitelist ends, then we're going to have to just think very carefully about whether we go with DXL or what we do next. Now, there are options. The first option is, like we said, we stick to what we do and we throw the final marketing funds we have and we just pump it all in and hope for the best. Or we switch to DXL. Now, there are the issues with DXL, but there are also positives with DXL. Like right now, if you've seen us on PoolCoin, you've noticed we are only under the pre-sale banner slot that's available. And that is a PoolCoin restriction because we don't have a DXL contract address, or we don't have a contract address. We do, but we've not shared it. So the problem is there that until we either provide DXL with a contract address or we provide them with a pre-sale address, that is the only spot that's available to us, which is a shame because there's much better space available within their site and platform for us to actually get a bigger reach and bigger audience. That's the only advantage, if I'm being brutally honest with you. And if I'm being also honest, looking at the stats, we've had more inbound traffic and new members joining us from CoinSniper than what we have from PoolCoin. In my personal opinion, PoolCoin is an absolute waste of money. It always has been. I think you have a lot of shit, people just refreshing there constantly, clicking on the new ads that they see, and it just doesn't work. It's not really a viable option. A lot of you might disagree, and I'm sure some of you are from PoolCoin, but at the same time, we've not really seen a good return on PoolCoin as of yet. We've seen a much better return of investment from CoinSniper than what we have from PoolCoin. So yeah, I want to make it clear as well that regardless of what happens, whether we go the DXL route with its issues or whether we stay with what we are, we will be going live. If we only raise another 10 BNB, I don't give a shit. We are going live. I'm not delaying this any more than what we have to. It means we've got a lower market cap, but that's fine. At least the buying pressure there, that the people that didn't want to believe in us or thought that this is a scam of some sort, even though we doxed, right now I'm on cam, Sven's on cam, even though we've been audited with solid proof, I'm happy to share the report. And on that note, I will share the report tomorrow. However, I'm going to block out the contract address, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And in addition to that, we are KYC verified, well, in the process of getting verified. So I don't know how more docs we could possibly be. The only other thing I can suggest is if you live local or you want to fly over and you cash rich, come join me. Have a gun to my head while I'm deploying everything. I've got nothing to lose. I'm not scared of anything. So that's all fine. But this is a community, and we do need your help to basically make sure that if you have come into at the whitelist, get your entry in. All right, help us make this a success. We can't do this without you. It's as simple as that. If you know people in other groups that may be interested in this, get them involved. Tell them about us. But what we are going to do, and I said there wasn't going to be an announcement tonight, is that if you bring your BNB, and those that already have, you're already qualified for this. If you pay your BNB in before tomorrow at 5 p.m., which is Wednesday, we are going to award those that have paid on time with an additional 10% worth of tokens. I think that's fair. That's an additional incentive for you guys to get in and help us build to that at least halfway mark. From 250 onwards, it's a really, really strong road.
Yeah.
Anything below 250, it's not bad, but it gives us a much stronger stability and liquidity floor at 250 mark, which is why we set the 500 floor, because we know at 500, it's like a game changer for a lot of people, but 250 is manageable. To be honest, 50 BNB is manageable. We could do this I could launch right now if we wanted to. And but we want to try and make the most of it. And we did say Friday 9 p.m, so we will stick to that. So once more, let me say tomorrow 5 p.m, get your BNB in before then. And by doing so, we will award everybody with an additional 10%. And obviously, I'll update the tokenomics at the same time. Yeah. So that's as much as we have. What's been happening with marketing? Quite a bit. As you know, we are on PoolCoin. We are on CoinSniper. We've got their banner spots. We've got a promoted position that will run for the next 7 days at least, minimum. We'll probably renew it after that. Regarding PoolCoin, again, a little bit disappointing from the results we've had there, but a lot of people demand PoolCoin, so we'll keep the ads running for the sake of keeping a couple of faces happy. We have some tweets going out, 3 in fact, from influencers over the next 24 hours. And we also have a YouTube video influencer, a House of Crypto. They're going to be posting their video out. They've already sent it to us, but they made a bit of a mistake in their their video review. They said we've been audited by TechRate, and we haven't. We've been audited by Solid Proof. The plan was to go with TechRate, and the plan is still to go with TechRate. But to be honest, Solid Proof gave us a really, really good professional service. Not only did they audit our contract, but they also did independent testing, which is what we needed because of the complexities. So we paid probably over the odds of what we should have paid for auditing, but it was well worth the money. And I think if it wasn't for the solid proof audit as well, we wouldn't have been able to identify the issues with the contract. So that when they get that first level, yes, you passed. If we went live, then a lot of you guys would have been knocking on my door right now and kicking my door down with threats. And we've said from day one, this is an open, transparent community. We've always said that. We'll always stick to that. We want this to be a fun environment, but also an environment where you guys can make money. So, we did the right thing. We held back. We fixed the issues. It's been tested by them again today. They came back with several questions. I clarified. They seem to be happy. And I think everything is going according to plan. But like I said, get your BNB. If you haven't bought in the your pre-sale yet, get it sent in. Help us secure the position. And I can promise you we will do whatever it takes to make sure that we can accelerate this to next levels and make you guys all happy, put you in a better place. Sven, do you want to add anything?
I think, well, you said everything, I think, but totally agree. We are doing everything for you guys, for the community, to make this worthwhile for you. What we need from you is well, your trust that we are doing everything we can to launch this as safe as we can for you. Not going back to DXL. I think we said enough about that. But send in your BNBs if you're whitelisted before tomorrow 5, and we'll give you some extras. And from there, if we hit that 250, we'll do absolutely everything we can. Get 100 by Friday with all the effort and marketing budget we can pull out to get that done, and then we go. No matter what on Friday.
Yeah, Friday, come rain or shine, we're going to be going live. Let me just quickly run you through the process. So there are obviously private sale investors, and then now there's some of the whitelisted pre-sale investors already that have come in. The idea will be roughly at about, I'm not going to give exact times for obvious reasons and for your security. So I don't want stupid contracts going out and you guys are starting to send or post that. But on that note as well, what we will do on Friday, probably from about, I would say 10 to 9, we are going to mute the chat and open up voice chat. During that time, G and Sven will be available while I do all the contract changes and work that needs to be done in the background. That will include things like preparing the final airdrop list that needs to go to everybody that have invested, moving liquidity over from the pre-sale wallet over to PancakeSwap, making the final changes to the contract that's required. There are several settings that needs to be updated. And then obviously, as soon as that's done, I will then give the official green light. I will be the only one that posts and pins the contract in our channel. Like I said, the channel will be muted. Okay, so if you want to know what's happening and stay up to date, join the voice chat. That's the only way of communication. Do not stress. I'm giving you guys ample opportunity and warning right now. I don't foresee any problems because as of right now, we're in total control of the contract. It's just a matter of me compiling the final list of everybody that invested, putting your address next to the tokens you meant to receive. I'll then do the airdrop. And as soon as that's done, I will then start sending out. Actually, I'll probably do that before, get the airdrop done. Then I'll add the liquidity and then I'll post the, because as soon as I add liquidity, you guys can start trading immediately. Yeah. So they'll be done in sync with each other. And then as soon as that's done, I'll post and I'll reveal the contract address to you guys, and then it's full steam from there from a trading perspective. So what I'd like to do now is hand over to you guys and the community just to ask questions, clarifications, call me out, challenge me, do what you need to do, because there's probably maybe 1 or 2 in there, maybe even more, that haven't yet sent through their BNB or are unsure. Feel free to ask any questions. We have nothing to hide as a team. So is there anybody? Hey,
I'm here.
G.
Sorry I'm late.
Hey, good day.
No problem, G. Glad to see it. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
I've got 2 questions, Clayton.
Go for it, Mike.
Okay. In regards to the private sale that has already happened, private sale was offered more tokens than the public pre-sale. will that still apply since you're offering more tokens to the public presale?
Exactly. So the original tokenomics meant that there was a 7.5% difference between private and pre-sale, and then a 7.5% difference between pre-sale and public. So ultimately, if you bought in at private and you only bought in at private and you were waiting for live, you'd have a 15% gain. However, the guys that bought in at private, because of the delays outside of our control, and we've been transparent about the history about this, we awarded them an extra 10%. So effectively, now the pre-sale guys are getting 10% more. The private is still getting more anyway, because they would have effectively been 17.5% more than what they were before.
Yeah.
So yes, you guys still retain what you guys got, the original 10% more. We're just applying the same logic now to these guys in the whitelist program.
Okay, thank you for that. And second question, if we have to go DXL, what problems do you foresee with being able to launch if there are issues on Friday?
Okay, so that's a good question. Right now, if the community absolutely insists that we're going with DXL, I'm going to insist on another delay. And the reason why I will insist on another delay is because I will then do a private DX sale first. We will do a very small group of users. We'll invite you into the pre-sale to test that we can finalize. The biggest risk right now is, for example, we go on to DXL, and yes, it might help us. We can go on to several other communities. We can get us to rate and review our DXL and all that blah, blah from a marketing perspective. But there is a very, very strong possibility when it comes to finalization, because of the complexities of interacting between one another, that something goes wrong. And if we can't finalize, it will take 48 hours for you guys to get your money back. That's the first point. The second point is that we don't have marketing budget to move this forward and do it all over again, because DXL don't offer any refunds. And marketing is, excuse the language, expensive. Beep, expensive. We need a beeping function on here because I like to swear sometimes. So that's the harsh reality. That's the harsh reality. If we can't finalize, all the marketing efforts that's been put in has gone to waste, because we've got to start all over, and everyone gets a refund. That's it in summary. And we've spent way too much money on this so far to just let that happen. It's just
throw it away.
To be honest, if that was to happen, I'm selling whatever tokens I've got left, and I'm not ever touching crypto again, because it will just be heartbreaking. Knowing that the last, I'd say, almost 3 months, there's been a lot of planning, fighting, sweat, tears, missing out on family time and all that type of wonderful things that we all take for granted, got into this project. And it's not just myself, that counts for G. Imagine G, you're right, he's in surgery for stupid hours, 18 hours a day, then coming home, and rather spending time with his wife, he's on the chat, he's catching up on what's happening, he's doing what he can when he can, catching a couple of hours sheep, and then doing it all tomorrow. Same with Sven. Sven's got a family of his own. He's busy with a house move, 101,000 things, but we're all trying to find time as and when we can to get this done. So for us to have that happen, it's just not an option for us.
So we should put out a new poll then with those stipulations all added in instead of just a vague poll. Would that be a wise decision?
We could do another poll, right? But I think that ultimately, although this is a community decision, it's still down to me, G, and Sven. We'll listen to the community, right? But we were hoping that after we just defined the potential issues, that the community would understand as to why we want to go down the direction of the route we want to go down. This is not to scam anybody or to take your BNB and run and not give you guys protection. It's got nothing to do with that, right? Today in the chat, Tony, he's still on chat, gave us a glowing review, saying he trusts us with the private keys, which is great. He's reviewed the contract himself, and he does this type of thing daily. They go to DXL, they scan contracts, they pick up dodgy looking things, and then they review it and warn people against it. That's how I found them. I was going to buy into a pre-sale. I read the reviews, saw either Tony or Steve's comments, and I thought, let me stay away. And lucky I did, because I would have been screwed. Now, we're not here to scam anybody. If we were going to be scamming, video chat wouldn't be on, my face wouldn't be on the website, nor would Sven's, nor would G's. It's just not, it's not us. We've been KYC verified as well. So if there was any fear or doubts, you could go to Solid Proof. You can get our home address, our telephone number, passport information. You know, they own all that information. They've got access to all of that, and it's a form of protection for the community as a whole. There is no way that this is going to go sour. Market conditions is out of our control. So, for example, if I don't know, some guy came in and bought in $100,000, which would be great, and then decided, you know, a week later to sell, we can't control those type of market conditions. When Bitcoin falls to shits and the market follows, we can't help that. So when we say this is a safe place, from a fear of losing your money due to us grabbing it and see you later and ending in the Bahamas somewhere, that's not going to happen.
This is
That's not going to happen. But there is no way that this is going to go south from any form of scam or honeypot or anything like that. Believe me, at one point, our contract was a honeypot, right, when we were testing. And that freaked me out because I could put my money in, but I couldn't get my money back out. But we resolved those issues. But it wasn't nice to see when that happened, and it freaked me out. I'll also be open and honest, and I've actually personally rugged Lambottery once during testing. I said, I never want to do that again. I felt so guilty. It was only us testing it, but I had to get the money back out of liquidity, and it led into a rug. But, you know, doing that to people I know and faces that are on here that I've spoken to for a very, very long time. I know Sven and G and myself, we are sincere guys. We're all family guys. We come from a group that was, I don't even know how many months now ago. When was Generation Wealth? How long ago was that? Was that March? Yeah.
April. Yeah.
Mike was part of that group as well. I know K3 was. Who else is on here? Wits, you were in there. I think that's probably from the group here. That's how we originally found each other. And although that wasn't really a rug, that project went horribly wrong. So we decided to form a ride or die crypto group, and we would, you know, bounce ideas off each other. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? And that's how we met each other. But we've grown quite a personal, close relationship with a lot of people on here. And a lot of people on here are personally invested, and I class now as lifelong friends. I couldn't at all, not only people I know, but I'm not that type of person that's going to stab you in the back and then run. It's just not me. I believe in karma. I believe that karma will always come back and bite you in the ass 10 times harder. And I actually want to see people be successful within the space, knowing that you can invest in the project, and with the community help, we can all pull together and we can really make this successful. I mean, can you imagine, right? If we have a very, very strong community and we've got the right type of volume, and we are able to do $1.5 million worth of trading volume a day, which is a high target, considering most coins can't do that. But I think we've got the right type of tokenomics to allow that. Yeah. If we can do that week in, week out, you name one other token in the space, right, that can claim to give away more than $250,000 a week. There aren't any. None. And if we can consistently do that, if you can imagine the amount of hype it's going to create on social platforms without us even having to pay for it. One guy wins 250,000 this week. The next week, someone wins. The next week, someone wins. When that becomes a pattern, it will be very clear that we are legitimate. We are for real. This is actually a token that what it says on the box, it actually does. And it does do all that, right? All the features we've mentioned, the buyback capability. Once the threshold is high enough, which we're hoping will be quite soon, it will start countering sells. The auto liquefy, 4% of all transactions goes back into liquidity. We've got another 2% NOS wallet, so that when there is a whale that exits, we can counter that. Then we've got obviously the lottery, which is splits. 5% of the lottery goes there. Now, let's just assume, let's explain a very basic terms of maths. Someone buys in $400, 20 of that gets taxed. Out of the 25 goes into the lottery. 125 goes into the hourly, 125 goes into daily, and the 250 goes into the weekly. That happens with every buy and sell transaction. It's just continuous flow. On the end of every hour, that lottery automatically triggers, and it will disperse the BUSD collected to that winning lottery out of my control, out of Sven's control, and out of G's control. The same with the daily. 24 hours after the contract started running, it will then randomly select a winner based on the odds, and the odds work on number of tokens per entry will be set at 1 million tokens per entry. And if you have 10 entries, it means you've got 10 million tokens.
Yeah.
That means you've got 10 chances of winning the lottery, just like normal lottery when you go buy a ticket. And then the same principle applies for the weekly. The only difference with the weekly is that we will go onto the DApp. We will then obviously select a winner. It selects the winner in the same way it would have done in the daily and in the hourly. The only difference is we trigger that select a winner. So we click a button, it shows us the winning address. We go then to the contract live on screen. We paste their contract in, we dispense it, and then that person will then instantly receive the VUSD that's being collected by the contract. We've got other features in as well. We've got the anti-whale. So if there's a whale, Mike, that owns a certain percentage of the supply, Mike isn't able to dump everything at once. I know he wouldn't, but he couldn't, right? You'd have to incrementally sell until he's under a certain threshold, then he can dump, which is great for protection to the community once again, because not everybody can afford to be a whale. But usually the whales that do come in, and I know 2 big whales already. There's Mike and there's another guy. Let me see if he's on. He's not. He's left the call. But James Personal, he was on here earlier. Another friend of mine. I know that they're both not going to dump anyway, so I'm not even concerned about them. So we've got the anti-whale. We've got early selling tax. That's very plain and simple. If you hold for longer than 48 hours, the early selling tax does not apply to you. But again, how many times have you gone to a launch and you see goes all up high in the sky, and then people get greedy and then they think, right, I'm going to exit. Now we've introduced 10% additional tax on top. It's something that we are shy about saying or trying to hide. It's plain and open, right? We will charge you 10% if you want to exit early. Hold. All right. This is the point of this. The point of this contract is to hold for 7 days. If you want to sell and then buy in next week, do that by all means. Hopefully by the end of the week, there's enough liquidity built into the buyback bot to counter what you are trying to sell and then buy back again. I do think that this will moon. And the reason why I say that is because of out of the 20%, 10% goes back into liquidity. All right. So this does 2 things. This does not only have you got the opportunity of winning a lottery regularly, but also we've got such a strong liquidity function in there. We do expect good price increases. Other contracts have got maybe 1 or 2 or 3% at most that they allocate towards liquidity. We've got 10. So that's saying something for itself. And then, of course, the big one is the buyback and burn. We are not burning tokens at the start. I refuse to. There's no point to it. So every week, 10% of the buyback and burn wallet will be dispersed back into the wallet and be accessible. And the community to decide what happens to that. That could be an equal share to everybody that's held and is qualified. That could be, we could one week have a battle of the whales, which I'm sure Mike will want to take part in it once again. Whoever buys in the most that week has an opportunity of winning whatever's released by the buyback and burn. There's so many things we can do with that that's more positive. Especially, here's a scenario. We only hit 100 BNB for this particular pre-sale. Just a scenario. That means I can only add 100 BNB worth of tokens to the initial liquidity pool. However, we then launch, people believe in the project, they realize that we are doing something positive. And at the end of the week, I've got 10% of tokens that would have been otherwise burnt, released to me. With the community's permission, I can say, right, guys, I'm going to take another 100 BNB. I'm going to add these tokens into liquidity to increase a more solid supply. So there are countless options available to us. Or indeed, if you guys wanted to just burn the tokens, that adds again no value, I'd be happy to do that as well. But that buyback and burn gives us weekly options to do creative things and fun competitions. We could have 1 week, we could have a shilling contest, knowing that maybe there's like 1 billion tokens being released at the end of the week. We could say, right, 500 million of that is going towards the best shiller or the best YouTube video or whatever, or the person that's the most active in the community. So there are many options available to us. So that's where we are at. Do we have any more questions? I see Claire's joined us again. Welcome, Claire.
No questions?
No questions. Joe, how you doing, buddy? I probably sounded stupid pronouncing that because I probably pronounced it wrong.
Hey guys, I got a quick question.
Go
All
for it,
right.
Brian.
When you say 5 o'clock, what time zone?
That's BST, so it would be 4 UTC.
All right, Eastern Standard Time.
Let me find out for you.
It's probably like noon.
BST.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's noon, 12.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Do we have any questions from the guys in the channel? Let's have a look.
No, I see comments. Send your BNB if you got accepted.
Put it in the whitelist.
I will repost it now.
Yeah, it's probably what I'll do is I'll send out another email at some point. Probably not tonight. Probably tomorrow now. Just reiterating the conversation we've had. It's going to be a long, boring ass email. So if you can't be bothered reading it, then that's fine. But I would encourage you to. It's just to recap everything we've said tonight regarding what we want to do going forward. Again, the main thing for us is we really want to try and get to this 250 mark, which I think is really achievable, especially with the marketing that we got going on now. And it would be fantastic over the next, call it 24 hours or less, if we could hit that target. It's a high target. I'll accept that. If we were already at like 140, 150, I wouldn't really be that worried. But like we said, regardless of what happens, we are going to be going live on Friday. Encouraging everybody once again to get the BNB in. And like I said, provided you get your BNB buy-in tomorrow, 12 Eastern Standard Time, or 4 p.m. UCT, or 9 p.m. BST, I need a world clock so I can actually check the time zones. Yeah, we will award you guys with an additional 10% of tokens. Throughout tomorrow, there will be, like as mentioned, there should be 3 tweets going out. Walter White, Kanye, and Crypto Manic is tweeting. So that should be good. We are also planning on getting on one of our partner sites. We will let you know once that's live. So we're quite excited of what's still coming. I wish there was another 3 or 4 coin sniper type sites that we should be targeting, but rather than KuCoin, but we've tried a few others and the return isn't as great. So, but we are trying, we will be pushing harder, and we will do whatever we can in order to move this forward. Is there any more open comments in the chat? Speak now. Everyone's so shy. Doesn't look like it. Okay. I think, yeah, I think we can call it then. And we will keep you guys updated as where we are. As mentioned, just to recap, I will now send the final whitelist email out. Just while we're talking about the whitelist, I need to recap and reiterate this. There were several people that were trying to cheat the system and managed to do so. I'm not going to point names. We will capture all the email addresses, and there will be another blanket email all being sent. Those that did cheat the system, we will allow, actually, I'm not even sure if we will allow you in yet. If I do find somebody that's already taken the mickey, I will probably refund your BNB, if I'm being honest, because it's not what this is about. There we are, G.
Hey.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we will be going through that line by line. There are, I can tell you right now, final entries. There were.
Hopefully you don't have on the table, G.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hey, mate.
Hey.
They say
Sorry,
there were
guys.
338. We know that there were a lot of duplicates in and a lot of crap entries. So in reality, there's probably about 200. We'll be going through the individual actions, which there were 35,677. So it's going to take me some time to go through that and verify that. But I will make sure that the leaderboard is updated accordingly. Now, while we're on the topics of leaderboard, I did reach out to Sweep Widget. You can confirm yourself with them. They underwent a server upgrade, and they have accounted for issues with the data migration. Now, they said that it will take about 24 to 48 hours to get that resolved. Not really bothered. I kind of know who the main leaders were anyway, but I will give them a chance to get all the data in. Excuse me, synchronized. And then once that in, we'll in any way get rid of all the crap that's in there. And we will then announce who the winners were, probably as soon as I've got the data finalized. Those prizes will be sent on the same first weekly lottery draw as what we do, the 10 BNB or less, depending on what we raise, as well as the prize for the whitelist. So that will all be done at the same time on the first draw when we do the first big lottery draw. G, you got anything to say, mate?
No, not really.
How was your day?
What did I miss for the first 10 minutes? Have we made a decision yet on DX versus the way we've been doing it?
We've not really made a decision. However, what we've said, excuse me, is, well, one thing you should be aware of is that we said that those that get their BNB in prior to tomorrow's cutoff point from the whitelist,
Yeah.
we're going to award all those with 10% more tokens than what they would have received. Anybody after that will get the normal standard tokens amount. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Second thing we've said is, if we can get to at least, I don't know, 200, 250, a much more stable position than where we are now by tomorrow, then I think we should just leave it running as is and not bother with DXL. We don't need to go into the reasons why DXL is crap right now. I think they are all clear. Yeah. But we can just chuck the final bit of marketing budget we have into finalizing till Friday and try and reach our goals. And I made it very clear to the group as well. We're on roughly about 40 odd, I don't know, it's 40 and loose change. If we only reach 60, we're still going live on Friday. We won't delay this any more than what we have to.
Yeah.
And really, the only thing that changes is the market cap at start. That's all.
It is what it is. So here's my thought on that. I mean, I agree that if we get close to 250, then we just proceed without DXL, because honestly, guys, the only reason we're doing DXL is just so that people trust us and will invest in us. I mean, that's really the only reason to do it. You know, I mean, otherwise we're just wasting money with fees and whatnot for no reason. So if we can get people to start buying in, and I feel like I'm blue in the face from trying to get people to understand that we're not here to scam you. Like I've said, we put out way more personal information than I would ever normally be comfortable sending to some company that I don't know. So, I mean, I don't know what else we can do to kind of prove that. And there's some people who just won't, they won't invest unless it's on DXL, and that's fine. Let them come in at public. But if we can get everyone who's signed up for the whitelist, and if we can just get new investors to kind of buy into this, whether it's listening to these recorded AMAs or even if anyone in here can just vouch for us or at least vouch for your faith in us, I think it would go a long way, and it would just be such an easier process to avoid DXL. So that, I mean, that's my thought on it. I think that if we can start picking up some steam here, just using the way we've been doing it, I think we're going to be fine. And once we launch, it's going to be a whole different game, because we can do a whole bunch of different advertising that we can't do right now because we're just in the pre-sale phase, you know. And like you said, the proof is going to be in the pudding, and that once people start winning, that's when people are going to get really excited about this. Yep. So if we can make it to launch and get enough people to just kind of invest in now, we'll have some marketing funds and we'll have strong enough liquidity to start with. It's just going to skyrocket from there. That's all we need. This doesn't have to be some blowout pre-sale. You know, I don't know. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, pre-sales are used to set the starting price.
Right.
Yep.
That's really it, there is to it. You know, I'd be quite comfortable saying, you know, let's launch when we hit 100 BNB. So what? I would much rather do that and then have a higher buying pressure, because when we go live, that's when the lottery starts to increment. And it's at that point onwards that things get exciting. Now, in an ideal world, from day one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 million daily volume. But in reality, it's going to take us a while to get there, which is fine. But I think once people start playing and winning and seeing other people win, or like real people that they've been talking to in the channels, that's not affiliated with me, that doesn't know G from a bar of soap, that's never even seen Sven before, someone like Hunter, or I don't know, Claire, or who else is new, Fijo, Quincy, for example. If any of those or one of the other randomers in the Telegram group, one of them winning would be, and then you see them tweeting about it and you can see their wallet, they actually have received X amount in the wallet, would be great. And as long as we can see that consistency and we can see volume going up, the daily volume of trade going up all the time, that's when we expect that we can start hitting consistent volumes, and then the big money will start being played out. Rome wasn't built in a day. Slow and steady always wins the race. It's a common motto of mine, so I don't expect it would be great. If we can get 1 to 5 million a day from day one, it would be great. But let's be realistic here and let's expect realistic expectations. I just think if we come together as a community, if we stick together, if we help spread the word, like I said earlier, go to your other groups that you're involved with, tell your crypto friends, drop us a tweet on Twitter. Let's just get some exposure out there and get people aware of this is a safe, trusted community. Once the word's out, it will be a fun environment. It really will be.
Yeah.
So now that the doctor's here, would anybody like to ask him some professional questions or crypto questions?
There's the spoon.
What do you say?
That's the spoon.
Yeah. Oh, I thought Mr. Spoon would be joining us tonight, but he unfortunately hasn't.
The guy and his spoons, man.
Yeah, spoons, all about spoons. For those that weren't aware, we had to verify ourselves on camera holding a spoon. G started, and then it just became a viral trend within our group, so it was quite funny.
That's how they did it before KYC. Those spoons.
Hey, I've got another question for you guys, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So, Clayton, you'd mentioned that, once we go live, that's when the amounts start accumulating for the daily, weekly, and the hourly drawings.
Yeah.
So if you bought it in a pre-sale or anything else, you're not really qualified for either of those drawings. You have to actually buy in once it launches.
Well, that's an interesting question. That's something I've got to get clarified by our independent dev team, because we did ask that question, and we need to just double check with them. I'm not 100% sure when it's at the point of transferring you the tokens and when we set the lottery start time, if your initial holdings qualifies you for the lottery. And then an hour after that, you won't be qualified for the hourly. And then after the day, you won't be qualified for the daily. And then after the week. I need to get clarification on that, because if I'm being brutally honest, I'm not 100% sure. My suspicion is, and I'm being honest, is that you're probably not, which is why I would recommend you anyway to hold, I don't know, the minimum amount required. Because look, when we say that there is no minimum amount required, the way it works is that even if you have the number of entries the number of tokens per entry will be 1 million tokens per entry, right? But if you only have 900,000 tokens, you will still get one entry, because we rounded it off to the nearest tenth. Therefore, I would recommend people who did buy in, just buy in 0.001. I don't care. You're still going to get that entry into the lottery going forward. I will clarify, and I will get back to you on that question, though, just to be 100% sure.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty important, just because, the more you put in a pre-sale, if it's not going to qualify you for those drawings, that could be an issue.
I don't really think it's an issue if you think about it from the bigger picture point of view. We have always said that there's always going to be winners and losers. Let's not kid ourselves. It's like buying the normal lottery. You buy a ticket at the normal national lottery. You pay, here in the UK, it's £2. You get a lottery ticket. The difference is here in the UK and in the States and anywhere else in the world where there's lottery involved, Once you paid the £2, if you don't win, you throw the ticket away and you've lost your £2. That's it. Here, the difference is you get to keep what you put in. And on top of that, we expect a price stability and price growth because of strong liquidity. So you're not a winner by just winning. You're a winner by coming in early because you're on the ground floor and you can expect good price growth through our various contract functions that ensures that. Buyback, the auto liquidity, the NOS wallet, 10% in total. That's not short change to play with. So you might not win the lottery because you invested in pre-sale or the private, but because you're on the ground level, you can expect to be at a very favorable position in a week's time or 2 weeks' time when your initial investment might be worth 10, 20, 50, or even 100x. Who knows? No one knows what this is going to do. If we could look into the future, we'd invest a lot more.
Well, what I'm kind of referring to is like right now, going by the old numbers, I would have 13,950 entries based on the amount of BNB that I sent in and the amount of tokens that I'll receive.
Yeah.
Will I be qualified for the daily, hourly, and the weekly once launched, or do those not count towards the drawing?
That's why, let me get clarification on that, because we did say, look, when you send, even within the contract, right, if I was to send you 1 million tokens now, the contract's going to charge you for receiving those. It's like SafeMoon, right? When you transfer from one wallet to another without selling it physically, there is still contract tax that comes into play. I am 50-50 on the bench. I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest, to give you an honest answer right now. I don't know. I would suspect, and G, correct me if I'm wrong, Sven, maybe you can as well. That was originally one of our requirements, right? That the guys that
Absolutely.
at the point of transfer, because even from a sale perspective, even when we transfer you your tokens and you then sell immediately, you're also going to get the early selling tax fee applied to you because within 48 hours. So I actually think the contract will work in the same way. You will be eligible for that first lottery based on the number of tokens that you have, because it will see as a new transaction, and that's what the contract.
That's how we at least asked it to be developed. But if we're not sure, let's double check.
Yeah, I'll double check that back to you.
The only way that wouldn't happen is if the contract specifies that it has to be like a transaction from PancakeSwap, which I don't think it is. I think it's just a transaction. So therefore, when we send out the airdrop of your pre-sale, it should put you in that hour and daily and weekly. So Mike, I would be willing to bet that it most likely does include you, but let us verify it.
Okay, and that just kind of brings up another question. And let's say somebody has 13 million tokens, okay, and they don't want to buy in, but they transfer it to another wallet. Will they be qualified for the drawing since they're getting new tokens into that new wallet address? Just something else to consider.
Well, number one is that person would get taxed, all right, by transferring it from one wallet to another. So keep that in mind. And it probably goes back to your first question. It's seen as a transfer to a new address. That address has received tokens for the first time. If in fact the contract does look at that from that perspective. Look, this is one area we didn't test because we didn't need to test transferring and all that type of stuff, right? We'll have to get back to you on that. And I think if the answer to the first question is yes, the answer to the second question will be yes as well, with the exception that the second question there will be a tax on that is applied.
Right. It was just something that popped into my head that it could happen where somebody does it. So.
Yeah, I got note. It's a brilliant question. I can see somebody buying, trying to maximize on their investment, buying once and then just transferring it 10 times so that everyone gets a fair chance of winning. And if that's what they want to do, then it's defeating the real objective of a lottery. So, and don't forget, it will diminish your chances of winning because the bigger your wallet, the more chances you are of actually winning. And it is completely random. It's a shame you weren't part of the testing program and the beta test that we ran. But there were guys in there with little wallets and guys in there with considerable bigger wallets. Me being one of them, the biggest with the most supply, I didn't even win once. So that was a bit disappointing. But I appreciate that this is a fair and open and honest lottery, and it's all about luck, So if you've got luck on your side, and if you're classed as a lucky man, then luck will be on your side, and you'll probably end up winning it.
The other thing too is if you took it from one wallet, transferred to another, I don't think that wouldn't allow both wallets to qualify, because the one previous that's sending would count that as a sell, and so you would be disqualified from that wallet. And so if you did that and you just kept sending it wallet to wallet to wallet, all you're doing is decreasing the amount, and you're just giving us more back in your tax. So it's not a good strategy.
I wouldn't encourage it to anybody, but it was just something that, something to consider.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a scammer that tries it and end up sending it to 10 wallets, being charged 20% a pop. So go for it, buddy. If you want to deplete your entire holdings, then go for it. I really don't mind. No, I'm not calling, obviously, saying that to you, Michael. I'm just saying if there was somebody out there that wanted to do that.
You know how I am. I try to think of every single scenario possible, and want an answer for every bit.
I see Chris is on. I'm just going to quickly make a comment because Chris, I don't know if you heard the comment earlier about the sweep widget. There is an issue with sweep widget. They've transferred service from one to the other. As a result, the data is a bit messed up. So the leaderboard, ignore the leaderboard now until they've resolved the data issues. Once that's been resolved, the old leaders that's been doing this for quite a long time should be back up on there and showing some true strength. I know that you're one of them. Obviously, Quincy is one of them. Oscar, I know, has been doing a lot on there as well. So although these news guys have just popped up out of nowhere, don't stress about it. All righty,
hey guys,
then.
thank you for that.
No worries.
Can I make a quick statement?
Go for it.
All right, so a couple months ago, I bought Fearless token, didn't know it, saw it, don't remember where I found it. And, it hit home. I was like, this is a great project. I looked at it. Wasn't really doing much, but, I hodled. And then you guys came out with this other project. I was like, okay, what's going on here, And to be totally honest, I was like, I'll hop over, see what's going on. And, it's kind of weird. You still got one token going, you're going to do another one. But I gotta be totally, transparent with you guys. I'm very happy that I did follow you guys over, and and very happy, and I totally trust you guys 100%. And that, I just wanted to mention that you guys do have another token, Fearless, that is still running, and not much going on, but you do still have that running, and as another secondary. So I just wanted to throw that out to people that may not know about Fearless.
Yeah, great that you mentioned that. So those that aren't aware, Chris is absolutely right. Fearless is a charitable token that basically supports frontline workers. The story behind it is really good. Our hearts were all in the right place. We tried to give back to the community, i.e. those that were there when your mom was on a deathbed and you couldn't be there. The fireman who saved your house from burning down. The policeman that was there for you on the night of your robbery. Those are the frontline workers we were trying to look out for. The problem with crypto is no one gives a shit about charity. That's unfortunately the harsh truth. And we were pumping a lot of money into marketing. We were taking a few steps forward, but being knocked back 20 times harder than what we were originally at. So what we come to realize is we need another project to supplement the marketing activity on Fearless. Fearless also needs a iOS and Android app so that we can actually go to Joe on the street and market to them and say, hey, would you like to support frontline workers? Buy this token. Not only can you get your money increase, but you're actually doing a good cause, and we're going to be giving back to those frontline workers. That's the target audience that we need to market to. Unfortunately, the Android and iOS apps is in the region of 80 to 100K. We didn't have the budget for that, so we decided to launch Lambottery with a view of supporting Fearless. I just wanted to make that clear. Fearless is dormant right now. There's absolutely no trade volume. There's people on here, Chris, yourself, Mike, others again, that are loyal and are holding. And I can guarantee you that we will be restarting Fearless marketing when we're in a position to do so. right now our focus is on Lambottery. And if I'm being honest, if we could reverse this and start Lambottery first, then do Fearless, that would have been a smarter move. But we didn't know that the market would be so cruel and brutal when it came to charity. It's unfortunately the way the space works. People are here to make money, and that's the reason why we did Lambottery, right? We've got strong features and functions in this contract to make you guys money. And crypto is about gambling, right? So by bringing in the lottery factor, it makes people excited and hyped up. So the idea is, let's get Lambottery mooning with a view that we can then take a very little small bit of budget while that's doing well, and then restart Fearless, get it where it needs to be, and get it up and running again. We've most certainly not forgotten about Fearless at all. It's very close to G's heart. He's obviously a frontline worker himself, and we're most certainly not just going to dump that project and leave it where it is. It's high up on our agenda, and it will be moving forward.
Yeah, we kind of had no choice with Fearless. So we were all personally bleeding cash into it. And you've seen how hard it is to get, marketing with just this project, which is a great project and should have a lot of appeal. You can only imagine how hard it was for a charity token, which people, like you said, just don't care about here. So.
Maybe a statement needs to be made there. I think people do care about the frontline workers,
yes,
just not traders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the main game is to make money, right? That's why we're all here. So again, when we're in a position to get a native app out that makes this buying process so much easier, so we can actually say to Joe on the street, hey, here in the UK, for example, every night at 8 o'clock, there were people outside, what they call clap for the carers and clap for the NHS workers. And they had a pot in their hand with a wooden spoon, and they were all clapping at 8 o'clock in support of what was happening with COVID. It was great spirit and support or encouragement here in the UK, while there was dreadful things happening with loved ones, friends, and family due to COVID. So there is a lot of people out there that really will support, but they aren't. My neighbor knows absolutely sweet nothing about crypto. If I told him to go buy this token tomorrow, he'd be like, raise his eyebrows. I can't be asked for this, mate. It's too complex. I mean, yourself, the very first time you purchased a DeFi token, how complex it was if you've never done it before. You had to go to some form of exchange, be a KuCoin, Binance, wherever. You then had to acquire. Then you had to somehow transfer it and figure out how to get it into your Trust wallet, only to transfer it out again, and then to find out you had to swap it to another token. Just a pain in the ass. The Joe on the street won't have patience to do that. And the only way we can actually get Fearless back where it needs to go so that Joe on the street can buy it is by giving them a very easy, accessible app. Download the app. It tells you exactly what you need to do, creates a wallet. But then within the app, how much do you want to buy? Out of the $100 you're trying to buy, $15 is going to be given to this charity or the charity part of things. And here's what we're going to do. So it's high on the agenda. It's not been forgotten about. It's definitely still there. We just need some cash to inject into it. That's all. But thanks for raising that, Chris. Appreciate it. Right. Is there anybody else? No?
Think not.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to end this off now. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We will keep you guys updated throughout tomorrow. As mentioned, we will... the whitelist program is closed now anyway. I'll be sending out the final batch shortly of emails. You guys have all got till 5 p.m. tomorrow to qualify for the additional 10%, as we've agreed. And then 9 p.m. tomorrow night, we will open to the public. Now, let's just to recap, if we can get to a better position tomorrow this time than what we are right now, I think with the community support, we were just going to leave it and we're going to write this out as hard as we can. Yeah. And if we only 180 or 200 or 220 BNB for liquidity, that's fine. It's strong. If we are no better off than what we were now tomorrow this time, then we really do need to think about, okay, community clearly don't understand what we're trying to say and explain. Therefore, it might be an option, or it might be the only option, to switch to DXL. And if that be the case, then that's what we'll do. There will be an email going out tonight to the final. There's also going to be an additional email to everybody previously, just reminding them to get them in, advising everybody that's not listened to this call that investing now gives you another 10%. So if you have invested, ignore the email that comes through, or read it. But all the details will be on there. That second email will probably go out tomorrow as well. Other than that, thanks for joining, and thanks for being there for us and supporting us, and let's get through this final hurdle and get us live. So, thanks. See you later.
Got
Bye,
Cheers.
guys.